2A, another commentary done by Diggity. Bottom right hand corner we have Musapa, aka Mini, starting as the white Protoss. Upper left hand corner we have Miso, starting as the brown Zerg. This is going to be on Fighting Spirit. We got Overlord making its way to the top right hand corner, and cross position, I should say. I don't know who to call in this match, because honestly I don't know what condition Miso is in, and I don't know what condition Mini is in equivalently as of the time playing. That said, between the two, I would favor Mini overall. His versus Zerg is not too shabby. Miso has pulled out some things here and there, and I'll be honest with you guys, Miso's versus Zerg play, he's still he's a professional. Let me just say that outright. He's a professional, but amongst the professionals, his style of Zerg isn't one of those that stands out in my brain as stellar or impactful. So hopefully he will surprise me in this show match. I don't think he's of the level of hero, effort, etc. these days, but nevertheless a pro gamer. Mini, on the other hand, has shown spots of brilliance. On occasion, he's been absolutely incredible, but on other occasions, he's kind of fallen off and hasn't been to the level of his former glory. The past couple years, I don't feel like he's played as strong as we've seen in the past. He is opening up, it looks like, a gateway first, very popular for Protoss players these days, especially in the, I'm going to call this the post 973 era, because I don't feel like Zerg are going 973 all that often unless they can get a very early kill on that initial probe scout. Looks like we are going to see an 11 or 12 hatch opposite corner from Miso, and it looks like he's going to send out that scouting drone, I assume bottom left. Overlord's repositioning. Probe didn't get sight of the Overlord, so still going to proceed to top left. Initial Zealot being constructed. Pylon backing it up in the main, and we'll see if there's continued Zealot pressure after this first Zealot. Sometimes at cross position, recognizing that it's just such a huge distance to travel, I'll see Protoss that they'll delay the second Zealot. They'll still move that first Zealot out there, but try to sneak out additional play. And I gotta say, thank you to Revolution Veer. I'm gonna say this is gonna go out on YouTube eventually as well. Be sure to check out Revolution Veer. He covers a lot of the Brood War Clan League, does a fantastic job of doing so, as well as Gosu League for BSL, and really just, it's fun. He's got a fun channel, and fun to listen to him. He's got donations for singing. Looks like we are going to see the second Zealot, but 2 Zealots, and then a command center after. A drone catches that first Zealot, marching it out. Probe winding its way with the initial Zealot, although kind of odd routing all the way around. So 2 Zealots and a probe may be going to converge. It looks like they're headed towards that 9 o'clock base, and it looks like that was 3 hatchery, 4 gas, so this is going to be a 303 gas now that's being tacked on. Nexus up, Pylon behind it, and another Zealot. Probe starting to tack away at this hatchery. A Zealot waiting on the low ground. This is a mistake. It feels like on Mini's part. This isn't a calculated, this is what I mean these days, and that's just that much less damage that Mini's going to end up having on the 9 o'clock. And I know that's a small thing. That's a really small thing. But regardless, another Zealot is going to go catty corner. So the Zerglings pushing up, trying to draw the units off. It looks like they're not trying to maybe trying to draw them off the hatchery to get a surround. A pile of them, and now everything crowding behind the main, and that second Zealot making the way towards the natural expansion. This is a lot of Zerglings for Miso early. So we've got 6 Zerglings on location here. We've got another 8 Zerglings at the third. Gas mining as well. We'll see if there's a tech delayer to go for the 3 hatch, or I should say layer play, but right now just Zerglings trying to defend. Zergling speed is being upgraded. The probe's been taken out. The Zealots marching their way back out. I don't know why they decided to make their way back out and expose themselves to the Zerglings round, but I gotta say, the Zerglings having some trouble getting proper positioning. So the 2 Zealots taken out, but only 3 Zerglings remain in that hatchery at half health. That could be a prime target down the line. The Zealots crowding around the natural expansion in the meantime at the front, have that pretty well sealed. Still a good number of Zerglings out here making the way across the map. That's 7, and the probe's still able to sneak out. Should be able to get a good look at the drone saturation back at the natural expansion. I'm wondering if that will even, knowing that that drone scout's going to be able to get there, if we'll see a skip of Stargate or not. Looks like we are seeing the Stargate regardless. Cannon warping in at the natural expansion, +1 weapons on the way, and the Zealot count increasing, having that Zealot count in the mid-game. I think that's why that Gateway First opener is so much better these days, is because it forces Zerg to play honest, a little bit more honest than usual. But right now, drone count surging. Got to look at the 6 drones at the natural expansion. We are seeing a Hydralisk Den plop down. And the Zealots trying to clear out the Zerglings on the front. So it looks like this is potentially going to be a 9-7-3 at cross positions. Maybe not, though, because... So we got the 7 drones here, but it looks like we're having up to 5 drones. So I assume with the Hydralisk Den here and the upgrades, this is going to fold back, and we are seeing continued dronage. The Zerglings trying to do their best to contain the Zealots, but the Zealots recognizing, wow, I'm actually a little bit surprised by this, but the lack of pressure starting to march out. Maybe to force some additional unit construction. Regardless, Miso up to a healthy 26 drones. Mini continuing the drone count as well, grabbing a second gas, so looking to be also second gateway on the front. Maybe going to go for that Templar route of tech overall. 4th hatchery already being constructed on the front. This is, yeah, definitely going to be a fold back. I'm wondering if this is just going to be 4 hatch. There's been a lot of experimentation here in the mid game from Zerg these days, and this is starting to look like it's just going to be 4 hatch Hydralisk rather than 5 hatch Hydralisk, to maybe try to save some resources in between to drone a little bit heavier. 4 cannons on the front, just in case there was a bust opportunity, but maybe also just to provide a little bit of that defensive padding to allow for allowances to be more aggressive with the Zealots should Zealot leg speed finish. It's about halfway complete. Corsair wandered its way out. Looks like it took a good amount of hits, but at least was able to get the scouting information. But still, yeah, defiantly, no tech to layer overall. And also, if you'll notice, no additional gas. So no additional gas. So just sitting on the 1 gas. So that suggests we're going to see a lot heavier Hydralisk production here in the mid game from Miso. And I'm wondering if this is going to be just a bust attempt at cross positions behind a more healthy drone count and more hatcheries to execute it with. So Hydralisk upgrades are finished, and yeah, it's just pure Hydra being constructed from here. The cannons are there on the front, so a modification on the Hydralisk contained sort of bust from Miso, going off 4 hatchery in the mid game, up a larger drone count. He is dropping a additional hatchery now at the 9 o'clock location. Corsair's wailing on that Overlord, should be able to wipe it out fairly rapidly. Some more, yeah, the Hydralisks are just ignoring that location and continuing to filter down towards that natural expansion. So I think this is going to be an all-out attempt at a Hydralisk contained, delaying that 5th hatchery a bit of time. And still, yeah, that maybe really wanting that seal, some additional Hydralisks remaining at home base to defend the Overlord count, but still no additional gas from Miso, encroaching on the 8-minute 30 mark. Pushing forward, trying to peck away. Is this the bust attempt? Moving in, working on the cannon line, probes being pulled, and backing right back out. Yeah, I think this is just going to be an attempt at an overwhelming Hydralisk contain off 5 hatcheries with a degree of delay in between. Templar Archives is up, Psystorm about halfway finished. The Gateway Flood being dropped as well. It'll be interesting play because we still see no additional movement. Granted, there have been Overlords that have been harangued between, but still no additional drones off the 24, no additional gas as well. Just the 5 hatcheries up, and a slew of Hydralisks gathering outside the natural expansion. So it'll really come down to Psystorm from Mini. Looks like he's going to drop that robotics facility. I don't even know that he has to build it because he doesn't know whether layer tech's out here or not. But so preventatively, potentially. But wow, look at this stream of brown moving across the map. I think this is, yeah, just going to be a later bust attempt / contain attempt. And so a lot of this is going to come down to the quality and positioning of the Psystorms. Hydralisk now pushing in. 1 Psystorm. Ooh, that was a heavy Psystorm. Catching a lot of the Hydralisk. Probes now pulling off the line once again. Second Psystorm waiting. Going to be a few more seconds before the energy is there. But the Hydralisk lines have already diminished greatly. Starting at the probes doing pretty good work here, although that probe count lowering. Second Psystorm dropping. A few Hydralisks are making their way through, and Archon being morphed to Dark Templar as well. The additional High Templar trying to, and it looks like there's just barely enough for Miso to break through. Dark Templar being constructed, but the Overlord along that edge, so it paid off. A lot of the pro count is actually evened at this stage, which is going to give Miso the overall advantage. The Corsairs working on that Overlord, because if they can take that Overlord out, this Dark Templar will be able to save this natural expansion. Some Zerglings in the main, a lot of probes still trying to protect that High Templar. The Dark Templar out, another Overlord makes it. So now there's plenty to wipe out this natural expansion. Now it's going to be 3 bases versus 1. Another big Psystorm there. It catches the Overlord and a good amount of those Hydralisks. And the Zerglings peeking through. It looks like going to try to wipe out that Archon on the high ground. Another Psystorm drop, but not enough. So just barely any Hydralisks now working on that natural expansion. Mini pressing down. Another grouping of troops starting to move in. Additional cannons attempting to be dropped. This is a desperate attempt to retake this natural expansion. This is going to be the difference between a win and a loss. The worker count is actually even at this stage. But Miso pouring on the pressure, more Hydralisks pressing in, the Archon trying to do what he can. Wow, 7 kills. I wonder if that's accumulated from the Psystorm earlier. Probes on top of the Hydralisks fighting for their lives now. And just a few units trickling out. The Archon is now gone. The probes, the primary attack unit now for Mini out on the front. And that's going to be GG. And Miso able to pull it off. And honestly, an more interesting bust than I've seen in quite some time. Great play. Hope you guys enjoyed that one overall. If you did, give StarCastTV a like and subscribe. Thank you for listening.